Oh, that was rather suspicious. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday night live stream for studentloanjustice.org. My name is Alan Collins, founder of Student Loan Justice. It is Tuesday, May 23rd. I'm going to get right into it tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Older people outnumber younger people with student loans. Forget everything you see and hear and read about student loans when it comes to that question. I'm going to take you through a quick article, and we broke this story many years ago. Actually, it's gotten the numbers I'm going to show you tonight they're actually significantly more skewed towards older people owning the debt than younger people. But I'll get to that in just a second. Couple of announcements. Congratulations to Jackie in Texas yet again for getting yet another letter to the editor published in Waxahachie, Texas, or something. Waxahachie, Texas. I don't know. All those weird Texas names. Waxahachie Dochis or something. But no, guys, this is very important. We're asking everyone to get their own letters to the editor published in their local newspapers. Jackie has been on a freaking tear. She's a force of nature. So congratulations, Jackie. I'm also going to have another announcement on that note soon from one of our other members. And I'm not going to say anything more than that, but this is how the game is won, guys. And for those of you who are new, welcome. Let me just say, no matter what age, color, creed, ethnicity, politics you are, you're very welcome on this group. We are the oldest and largest group in the country of just normal people fighting only and absolutely for student loan justice. That means two things. Number one, it means the return of bankruptcy to student loans, bankruptcy protections. The founding fathers called for bankruptcy ahead of the power to declare war and raise an army in the Constitution. That's the core of the student loan problem. We're not going to see anything meaningful from Joe Biden or the next president unless and until we, the people, get the constitutionally enshrined right of bankruptcy returned to these loans. It's the one thing that the lending side has used to exploit and abuse us. That's the number one primary thing that we're fighting for. That's always been true. We're also fighting for student loan cancellation. This group, believe it or not, started the entire national conversation. We injected the concept of canceling student loans by executive order into the national debate. This started with a seminal interview we did with Vice News in August 2019. But more to the point, in March 2020, we started the petition at change.org/cancel student loans, calling on then President Trump, to cancel all federally owned student loans by executive order. He can do this without needing congressional approval, without needing one dime from the Treasury, no congressional appropriation required, and without adding even a nickel to the national debt. It's the cheapest, easiest way to get rid of these abominable, unconstitutional loans, and they are, and also stimulate the economy to boot. So that all started here on this group, guys, believe it or not. And to all the people on this group who've been fighting with us day in and day out, I salute you. You know, you and we are the diehards, and we've got a lot to be proud of. Whichever way this lame Biden loan cancellation winds up in the Supreme Court. But anyways, that all started on this group. And so this group, despite all appearances, we are way more important than you might think. If you're new to the group, you probably don't know a lot about student loans. Most people don't. Why would they? You probably only know that student loans suck and that you have them, and what can you do? Well, before I get into tonight's topic, let me just tell you, two things. One way more important than the other. The most important thing, do our daily actions. Here, let me dial that in. Do our daily actions. If you really want to help, and we will get nowhere without your help. You have no idea how important you sitting there are. And I'm very serious about that. We do daily actions nearly every day. They're very simple. They're very quick. It's usually like retweet this, retweet that. It's Twitter stuff. Stupid. It's stupid, but it's very not stupid when 1.4 million people, which is the number of people that we have signed up with our group, actually do them. So on any given day, for whatever reason, I only see a few hundred people doing our stuff. We need a few 100,000 people doing our daily actions. When that happens, the student loan problem in the United States will be solved. Like, that's how big of a muscle that we have to flex. We're just waiting on you all to join in the fight and quit expecting that somebody else is going to pull your weight for you. That never happens. This is a working, fighting group. And if you're not here to help us fight and do a tiny bit of work, then really you should leave, because we just don't want you here. But it feels very good to fight this fight, and I think most people will agree. So tonight, I'm going to take you through some research we did a few years ago. There was an article out in the Guardian newspaper, I think today, talking about how Joe Biden is better do something on student loans, or all the young people are going to kick him out of office. And that may be true, but it reinforces the completely fake myth that student loans is a younger person's problem. They're not. And here, I'm going to share my screen so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. There's the headline. So not only do older people outnumber younger people, just the sheer number of people with student loans, on average, they actually owe far, far, far more. Nobody thinks that, right? When you think of student loans, you think of young kids and graduation caps and spring break and beer and whatever else. No. The true face of student loans are people over the age of 35, not under. And here's the raw data. And this, by the way, this comes directly from the Department of Education. This is the best federal data available on the question. So here we see that people over the age of 35 outnumber people under the age of 35, 22.7 million borrowers to 22.6 million borrowers. So people over 35 outnumber people under 35. And on average, the over 35-year-old crowd owes about 150% more than the under 35 crowds, $25,000 on average versus $41,000 on average. And these actual average numbers, they're a little, I'm not sure that I trust them, but whatever. It's what the Department of Education said. I think Department of Education is not including a lot of interest and stuff, but that's another story. The point is what I just said. Most student loan borrowers are over the age of 35, not under. And on average, the older crowd owes significantly more than the younger crowd. But it gets even better, ladies and gentlemen. If you look at the youngest student loan borrowers and the oldest student loan borrowers, it's even more dramatic. So people over the age of 50 now outnumber people under the age of 25 with student loans. It's true. 8.5 million to 7.8 million, like significantly outnumber. And on average, the older crowd owes not just 150% more, they owe around 300% more than the younger crowd. So think about that for a minute, guys. When you take out a loan, like the way any other loan system functions, you take out the loan, you have a certain balance. You pay the loan off over whatever, a certain length of time, and the balance goes down to zero. So in any kind of a functioning lending system, the average amount owed versus age should be going down significantly. And remember this also, people over the age of 50, they went to college in the 70s, 80s, maybe 90s a little bit. They borrowed far, far, far less than the kids are borrowing today. And I can say kid because I'm actually in the over 50 crowd. I'm proud, I think, to say. So what kind of batshit craziness is this? It's crazy. In fact, it is clear that the older you look at the older borrowers you look at, the more money they owe, not the less money they owe. That is just absolutely ridiculous. And here you can see the matrix, the actual data for yourself. And you can slice and dice this any way you want, but you come up with the same answer every time. This is more an older person's problem than a younger person's problem. So who knew, right? You heard it here first. And interestingly, we broke this story in, I think, 2-3 years ago. We broke this story December 2020, so 2.5 years ago. And to date, not one, but for a little tiny note in the Chronicle of Higher Education, no mainstream media has broken this story. Like, that just goes to show how absolutely stupid the media has become on this issue. The mainstream media they were never really our friend, guys, but they are even less our friend now today. Sorry about the lighting. The mainstream media has been completely corrupted and captured by the student loan industry, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what else to say about that except that it's true. And believe me, we get into the mainstream media pretty often. I mean, a couple months ago, we were in what was it? The New York Daily News. Our people and our stuff has been profiled in The Guardian and Business Insider. We were featured top story on 60 Minutes. We've broken news in the Wall Street Journal, as I said, the Chronicle of Higher Education. We've been all over the media. And just this past summer, we were featured in on the Peacock Network, MSNBC and stuff like that. And I was on Fox News this summer and stuff. This past summer. So almost a year. I guess this was almost a year ago now. But yeah, guys, the media sucks on the student loan issue. The mainstream media has been completely captured. 98% of the stuff that we see in the media is just crap. And very important truths, like what we're talking about tonight, that would completely change the entire public conversation about student loans. It's been totally withheld from the public by the mainstream media. I mean, talk about professional. That's like a crime, right? It's professional. It's either gross neglect, or it's just professional malpractice, or call it what you want. But the media apparently has no interest in reporting the actual truth about student loans. I could go on for hours and hours talking about other extraordinarily important truths that are being withheld by the media. And guys, it's just so important. But it only underscores the importance of you. You know, we're all we've got in this fight, dudes. That's really true in many ways. Word of mouth is the only way that this truth, like what I talked about tonight and what I talk about on many other policy points, the truth is the only thing we got. And the only way it's going to get out is when you make it get out. Word of mouth is the strongest thing that we have going for us. So when people sit like wallflowers on our group and don't do anything, and they go, yeah, you go, and you go, Alan, you go, Lisa, you go, Joanne, you go, Jackie, and hey, while you're up, will you get me a piece of pizza? You know, that's bullshit, guys. That does not work. We will be conquered and enslaved by these loans if more people don't step up, and that's just true. So if you want to help us fight, you're very welcome on this group. We're glad that you're here. We will help you in any way that we can. As I said, doing our daily actions is probably the most important thing that you can do. I also have to mention, guys, if you can donate right now, that would be very helpful. We need 15 people to donate $20 this week. So $300 we need to raise by the end of the week. It's not a ton of money, but guys, if nobody donates, it becomes zero. So just please donate, because I suck at fundraising. Would you please? We can do this on very little money, but we can't do it on nothing. We can fight and win this battle on very little money, but we cannot do it on nothing. So please help so I can shut up about it. Thank you. So yeah, guys, I think we're in good shape. Just generally, our argument has never been stronger. Whichever way these Supreme Court cases go, it really doesn't matter to me. Quite frankly, $10,000 or $20,000 is not anything. And, the student loan sharks will make up that $10,000 or $20,000 in no time. They want more than anything to get these loans turned back on. That's what they really want. And when that happens, if the constitutionally enshrined threat of bankruptcy still remains gone from these loans, it's going to be a fucking bloodbath, and your ass is going to be on the platter. You're going to be like the turkey at the Thanksgiving dinner. If you're like probably 80% of student loan borrowers, you're not going to resume paying when they turn these loans back on. That's just true. Even before the pandemic, 60% of everyone was not paying on their loans. That's only going to go up. And the collection companies, that's exactly what they want. So it could be a bloodbath if we do not have at least the leverage of bankruptcy back on our side. By the way, very few people will actually have to file for bankruptcy when we get the right returned. Like maybe even no one. Just having the threat of bankruptcy is what is so important. That's the most important policy point I'm going to tell you tonight. So, hey, Joanna's with us tonight. Hey, Joanna from Florida. Joanna says, hello, Senator Rick Scott's office doesn't want to pick up their phones. I sent them a form to get a meeting with Alan on May 15th, and I've called many offices of his, and they still don't want to pick up the phone. Well, you've got to be persistent, Joanna. It's not hard. But it does require often, especially with terrible senators, like Rick Scott is a terrible senator. He's terrible. You've got to be persistent. You've got to be loud. You got to be bold. You've got to overpower the junior staffers on the phones in Washington, D.C. These people are kids. And I can say that again. I'm a senior now, right? Technically, it's 50, over 50. These people work for us, and most of the people manning the phones on the other end are a bunch of green, fresh out of college kids. They're 25, 26 years old. They don't know anything. So you can't be intimidated or discouraged by these kids who are manning the phones. You should say, I live in Florida. It is extraordinarily important that I get a meeting with, and I would say, your judiciary staffer. Those are the people we really need to meet with. Don't take no for an answer. These people work for us. Be a little stronger than that. And if you're strong, it will happen. Guarantee you. So there's so much going on right now, guys. I'm going to leave it there at that because otherwise I'd probably talk for another hour. So that's the long and the short of it. Check our website and look at all the headlines that we've generated over the past, 3 years or something like that. Look at our Medium platform or our Substack platform. Read the most recent 4, 5, 6, 7 articles that we've written. Most of it is research, some of it's opinion, some of it's analysis. But if you take some time and read those articles, you will become a very fine, fit, and fierce, and hopefully feared student loan justice warrior. And we need you in this battle, guys. If there was another group out there actually fighting this battle in the way that it needed to be fought in order to get actual, not fake student loan justice, I would join that group. But that group is us, guys. It's us. There are no others. And that's true. The other groups out there are just completely faking this issue. I don't know what they're doing. I'm not even sure if they even have student loans or whatever. They're just a bunch of fakes, everything that I've seen. None of them are fighting for the return of bankruptcy rights. And that right there should tell you that something's wrong here. As I said, we're all for student loan cancellation, guys. We started that public conversation, but we're smarter than that. We've been around for 18 years. We've seen all the tricks and the traps and the lay of the land and the way things work. And the way things work are this. We will get very meaningful, very widespread, very broad, maybe even total student loan cancellation when we get the leverage of bankruptcy returned. But unless and until that happens, we're going to be like fish in a barrel for the student loan industry. and they are going to devour your ass and mine come September 1st or whenever they turn these loans back on. So there's a lot riding on this battle, guys. These are your loans, and this is your problem. And if you're not fighting with us, you're really not even fighting. You may as well just give up. So I will leave it at that. I've gone on long enough. I'm going to cut myself off now. I'm going to join you again tomorrow night. I'm going to finally, maybe the very last thing I will say, I have to repeat. Please donate if you can. $20, guys. 15 people. It's not rocket science. It shouldn't be hard to do. Please make the fundraising easier on us. But I will see you tomorrow. Do our daily actions. And let's roll, guys. We're kicking ass right now. And you have no idea the size of the muscle that we will flex when you help us. So good luck with those daily actions. I'll see you tomorrow. Godspeed. God bless everyone.